Not many cars stay true to concept. The Tata Punch here, that's an exception. Remember the HPX concept shown at the 2020 Auto Expo? Well, the Punch is the production version of that concept, and it hasn't strayed too far. It actually bears a very striking resemblance to the bigger brothers, the Harrier and the Safari. Tata Motors says that the Punch has the agility of a hatchback with the DNA of an SUV. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the Evo India channel so you stay notified for our latest video drops. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and let's dive into the Tata Punch now. The Punch borrows inspiration from the Nexon, Harrier and Safari. The split headlights have a striking resemblance to the Harrier and Safari, as do the neatly integrated DRLs. There's even what Tata Motors calls the humanity line on the grille that gives it a connect to the larger SUVs from the Tata Motors lineup. The plastic claddings around the bumper lend it an unmistakably SUV character, which actually continues throughout the rest of the body. The squared off wheel arches makes the Punch look properly aggressive and SUV-like. It also makes the Punch bigger than it actually is. The 16-inch diamond cut alloy wheels fill up the wheel arches very nicely and run on meaty 195 section tires. The rear door handles hidden inside the rear doors near the C-pillar also add to the styling front. It also gets smart looking roof rails, but that's purely a styling element. The interiors of the Tata Punch have also stayed true to the HPX concept. You get this 7-inch floating infotainment touchscreen system out here. You get these cool looking square aircon vents. You get white texture across the dash and on the door panels as well. That's a nice standout feature. Some features, however, are same from the Altroz, with which it shares its platform, the Alpha architecture. The steering wheel, the part digital, part analog console there, that's all from the Altroz. But there are some bits that you can personalize in the Punch. Let's have a look at that. So what are the personas then? Instead of calling them by the boring usual variant names, Tata Motors has decided to give each variant of the Punch a unique identity known as a persona. You have the pure going up to the adventure, accomplished, and the one that we're testing here, the top of the line creative. These personas can also be personalized with option packs like the Rhythm Dazzle and Ira packs. The version we tested features a 7-inch infotainment unit developed in partnership with Harman, which is intuitive to use. It integrates Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but not wirelessly. As you can see, access into the Punch is very comfortable thanks to these 90-degree opening doors. At the back, the space is very generous. The front driver's seat is adjusted to my driving position and I have plenty of knee room, good headroom. Of course, the Alpha architecture and the Punch, that combination works very nicely in liberating a lot of cabin space. In terms of creature comforts, you get these nice adjustable headrests, so you're nice and comfortable. You get a nice armrest here, so it's good for long drives. Other than that, well, not much here. You don't get rear AC vents, no charging points. That's a bit of a miss. So Tata is calling the Punch a micro SUV. Now, can you really call something so small an SUV? They think so. They say it's got the agility of a hatchback and the DNA of an SUV. Let's see what it's like to drive. So the Punch initially will be powered by a 1.2-litre 3-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol engine. This engine makes 85 bhp, 113 Newton meters of torque. A lot of you asked us if it feels underpowered. Well, not really. It gets move on nicely. I know a 0 to 100 time of 16.5 seconds is nothing to write home about, but it does its job well. It's not really going to deliver the thrill of driving, but that's not what Punch buyers will be looking at. They'll more want a family-oriented car which will be a good city run around and good on the occasional highway run. What's also on offer is a 5-speed manual gearbox. There's also an AMT on offer, which we will be driving later in this video. The Punch shares its architecture with the Altroz, the Alpha architecture. That's what all new Tata cars will be based on. And it does a very nice job of taking what the Altroz did to begin with another step forward. The ride and handling of the Punch is very typical of new age Tata cars. it actually feels like a baby Harrier or a baby Safari for that matter. It absorbs most undulation and bumps on the road really nicely and lets little translate to the cabin. On the driving front, the Punch also gets two driving modes. We're right now in City mode, which is the default mode, but you also get
Economy Drive mode activated.
And you can of course switch back to
City Drive mode activated.
And you get this lovely lady from Tata Motors with you all the time. The Punch also gets an auto start-stop feature which will cut the engine if you reach a traffic light and will restart the engine once you press the clutch. This could be a unique feature in the segment. So talking about rivals, we're not really sure what the Punch will actually go up against because we're not sure of the pricing yet. It could compete with something as basic as the Espresso or even something as premium as the Ignis, and it could also go up against the Magnite and the Kiger. On the handling front, there is a bit of body roll, but that's expected from a tall boy like this. You do get decent cornering grip and the steering does feel direct. You know what the front wheels are up to at most points. The ride and handling is very similar to the Altroz. It's a little taller, so there is a bit of body roll compared to the Altroz, but it feels very similar. The steering wheel too is from the Altroz, so you have that familiar driving experience that if you've driven a Tata Altroz in the past, you know what I'm talking about. So the Punch in reality is not a very exciting car to drive, but it does its job nicely. It's comfortable, it's spacious, it's practical. And the most important thing is that it gives you that SUV feel while being a nice, small, compact footprint. What's also nice about the Punch is the generous 187 mm of ground clearance, which gives it decent off-road capabilities, and with the traction modes, it actually makes for a useful off-roader. We're going to show you some of that now. What's really going to make this little SUV stand out from the competition is the way it can handle the rough stuff. Tata Motors had set up an off-road course on our first drive to demonstrate the off-road abilities of the Punch. With an approach angle of 20.3 degrees and a departure angle of 37.6 degrees, it can do stuff that you wouldn't expect a little car to be ever put through. On the off-road course, we tackled some pretty steep gradients and the Punch just sailed through it all. Even the water wading capacity at 370 mm is much better than similarly sized cars. The generous ground clearance of 187 mm is another factor that contributes to its SUV credentials. The AMT version gets something that's a first for a car in this segment and probably a segment above too: Traction Pro mode. What Traction Pro mode does is, if you ever find yourself in a sticky situation where one wheel loses traction or grip, it gives you the option to lock the other wheel and send power only to the wheel that has grip. This can be done very easily via the infotainment screen, which gives you a prompt once the Punch detects slip. You need to keep your left foot on the brake while gently accelerating. It actually works very well, as we observed. So there are a few misses on the Tata Punch. Like I pointed out earlier, there's no AC vent at the rear and there's no charging port either. That's something we've come to expect with most cars these days. Also a miss is the center armrest in the front. That would have made the driving experience more relaxed. Talking about relaxed driving experience, let's jump into the AMT now. After spending some time with the manual Punch, we're now in the AMT version. In terms of the interiors, there's not much different. Obviously, you get this nice gear lever here for the AMT transmission. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. This is a different colored car to the manual we were driving earlier, so it gets the body colored accents around the AC vent, which is a pretty cool touch. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. Now, obviously, what is different in this AMT version compared to the manual is the way it drives. It gets the same 1.2 litre petrol naturally aspirated engine, making the same power and same torque figures, but obviously the power delivery is a little different. It's even more relaxed than the manual. There isn't that typical AMT head toss feel that you get with AMTs of the past, and that's a good thing. The gearbox is pretty smooth. There isn't much jerkiness, there isn't much tentativeness. It's pretty smooth and it keeps the car moving pretty nicely. So the Punch may not tick the right boxes for a driving enthusiast, but it does tick the right boxes for someone who's looking for a nice, practical, small car. It feels like an SUV, it rides like an SUV, and that in no way is a bad thing. It actually holds true to what Tata says. It has the agility of a hatchback with the DNA of an SUV. And another thing that I must give special mention to is the cabin of the Punch. It doesn't in any way feel built to a price. It actually feels nice and premium in here, and it carries a lot of the good things forward from the Harrier, from the Safari, from the Altroz, the other good cars from the Tata stable. So bookings for the Tata Punch have begun on the 4th of October and the launch is on the 28th of October with the prices out then. We expect Tata Motors to price it very aggressively, so it will appeal to a wide range of buyers. It will appeal to buyers looking at something as small as a Maruti Suzuki Espresso to a Maruti Suzuki Ignis, as well as people looking at the Nissan Magnite and the Renault Kiger. We also expect it to put a dent in the sub 4 meter sedan segment where you have the Maruti Suzuki Dzire and the Honda Amaze. Won't this make a cool option for cars like that?